Hi, it's Papa. Today I want to talk about how to deal with number 2 and number 1, and you know what I'm talking about. I'm going to show you the different systems for waste disposal that Grammy and I have used over the years, and show you the one that we use now and why we think it's the best one for us. We started out with this system. A bucket, 5-gallon bucket, and we also separated number 1 and number 2. We kept them separate, and also we dumped our stuff frequently, like every number 2 we dumped. So for pea pot, we used this for a long time as a pea pot. And it works okay. It will leak if you get it too full. So it's not the best pea pot in the world, and I don't recommend it, but we had a lot of these around, so we used them. We throw them away and get a new one every single camping trip. In combination with a pea pot, we had a 5-gallon bucket, and we would put a garbage bag in it. This is a Walmart garbage bag. We got this handy dandy toilet seat off of Amazon. So there you go. You do your business. We did number 2 in there. Only number 2, you see, into the bag. And how did you do it? First, we lined the plastic bag with toilet tissue. Then you do your business, and the toilet tissue helps keep it from sticking to the bag too much. It's pretty gross, but we got to talk about these housekeeping things. Then we would take the bag out, take it to a restroom, and you can flush it down the toilet. No, I'm not talking about the bag, but the contents of the bag, like so. Okay, I'm not comfortable with taking the contents of this bag and putting it in a dumpster. I just don't believe that is really what those dumpsters are designed for. And if I worked as a park manager and a forest manager for 30 years, and I had to dump garbage cans, and when they were full of this kind of thing, it was very disagreeable. So I would take this empty, after I emptied it in the flush toilet or the vault toilet, I would take this bag, tie it off, stick it in 2 other garbage bags, tie them off. I'd put that in the dumpster. I'd even put that in the restroom trash can. I feel comfortable with that. And we did that for a long time. The drawback with that system is that you have to deal with it every time. You have to deal with your, you go and then you got to deal with it. That's good if you're near a park restroom, where you can deal with it immediately. So you're probably asking, well, why not just skip that part? Go into the park restroom and use the restroom. I will tell you why. I found out, I'm a morning pooper. Yes, I am. I'm a morning pooper. And I found out something interesting about that. Everybody else on the planet is also a morning pooper. So that means from 7 a.m. to about 9 a.m. there's a long line at the bathroom. And the bathroom stinks, and a lot of the people that use those park restrooms don't flush, and it's just terribly, terribly nasty. The next reason is that you can pick up germs really easily in public restrooms, whether they be a national park, state park, or a gas station along the way. What about this? You've got a month off to go van camping. The first week you go into a public restroom or a park restroom, you catch a cold. For the rest of the vacation, you're going to be dealing with a bad cold. That's no fun. That's why we don't go into park restrooms. So this system, the old garbage bag in the bucket system, and the separate number 1 and number 2 from each other system, it works if you've got easy and quick access to a public restroom somewhere. Okay, that was system number 1. Then we decided to do something different. You know, if you're not going to be close, if you need a toilet, if you need to dispose of number 1 and number 2 while you're on the road and you don't really have quick access to a restroom to dump the stuff immediately, or if you're van camping in an area that's remote and doesn't have, it doesn't have a good place to dump, so you have to save the stuff up for a couple of days, then you got to do something different. And so this is the system we use for that. This is a 5-gallon bucket with a screw top. And you can get, it's just a Home Depot bucket, and you can get these screw tops on Amazon. You just pop this collar onto the top of the bucket, and then you've got a screw lid. And the screw lid usually has a white rubber seal around here. I've taken it off because we don't use this bucket for that anymore. And it'll screw right onto the bucket. And you can get a tight seal there. It won't leak water, won't leak liquid. And so you can mix number 1 and number 2 together in this thing, and you can let this thing go for a couple of days. I don't know, it just depends on you, maybe 3 days till you get to a dump station. Or, let's say you get up in the morning, you go number 1, number 2 times 2 people in here, then you're heading out for the day on a ramble, on a hike. You could pull into the the trailhead for the hike. There's a vault toilet there. You're good to go. The drawback of this system is, if you've got material in here, every time you open up this to go again, that is a big hole for stink to come out, and it does. It will in hot weather. So you got a lot of smell there. Also, although this can easily be dumped in a vault toilet and in a flush toilet too, although I don't recommend ever dumping these potties into flush toilets because it's so easy, even if they're power flush, because it's so easy to clog them up, and that causes everybody problems, the park staff and the people who want to come in there and use that. Plus, if you go into the restroom, you defeated your purpose. You're touching germy stuff. So a vault toilet is about the only way to dump this. Why can't you dump it in a dump station? The reason you can't is because the holes in the RV dump stations, the pipes that you dump your material into, are only about this big around, and it is difficult to pour material out of this into an opening that small without it flopping around. There is a bit of a lip here, and that doesn't facilitate good flow. Also, cleaning this, you have to clean this up to get the smell out. So but that worked for a while. Another thing is, if you have this in your van, and especially if you're going on a bumpy road, if you don't have this bucket bungee down, it's gonna fall over. And it probably won't leak, but it could. But anyway, that's an emergency. You gotta stop and get back there and put it back upright again. So it's gotta basically be bungeed or held in place upright all the time. But that's a possibility. We like RV dump stations when we can get to them, because you have water there, water to clean out your bucket, water to clean out your potty, and also most of them have drinking water too that you can fill up your water tank too. So that's why, even though this guy costs like $5 or $6, $8 or $10, I don't know, we finally switched to the old mini porta potty. This potty is made by the Thetford Company. Can you see that? Thetford. Thetford. And everybody just about who has one of these has a Thetford potty. Let me just come down a little bit so you guys can see what I'm talking about. And I've already talked about this potty. Why is this a good potty? Potty. This is a good potty. Let me get it back here. Bring your potty on back. Oh yeah. This potty works because you can use it for 2 or 3 or even 4 days without dumping it. And in hot weather, it's gonna smell. When you open this up to dump your number 2 and your number 1 down there, the smell's gonna come out. But we use Pine Sol in there, and that mask the smell. And Grammy puts this material, she's talked about it in another video, that actually dissolves the solid material, and that makes it easy to dump. So, and also this potty is very stable. It will not fall over. It hasn't fallen over yet on us. Probably if you got it super full, it would. It has a tank. This part's actually a tank where you can pour water into this tank and use it to flush the potty, but we don't do that. We found that's kind of redundant. We just have a gallon jug full of water, and after we go, we pour a little bit out of the jug, maybe 5 or 6 ounces. That's all it takes. Plus, not putting water in here makes this a lot lighter, a lot easier to deal with. Also, you know, when you get ready to dump this, it comes apart, and you just got this right here. That's the hole where everything goes, and see how small it is. So the opportunity for stink to come out of there is a lot less than a big old 5-gallon bucket, and you can shut it really quickly if you need to. When you do number one, then you go. That's right, you just let it down there fast. Number 2 is a little bit different. When you're ready to go, you open it up, number 2 goes down, there you go. When you go to dump it, whether you're dumping it in a vault toilet or a dump station, you've got this handy dandy dump thing. You just unscrew this, and it's easy to pour out of this into that about a 4-inch diameter RV dump station opening, and you can use the water that's supplied to wash it out with. It works great for us, and we recommend it. It costs about $100, maybe plus or minus, I can't remember, but we found that it works really good in all situations. You don't have to separate number 1 and number 2. You don't have to dump it immediately. You don't have to go into a park restroom or a public restroom ever. And although in hot weather it will smell a little bit, they all will. We just keep the pine sol going in there, and that helps a lot. Okay, I hope this helps you. I'd love to hear your comments on number 1 and number 2. How do you do it? How do you do it? I mean, how do you do it? You might have a better system than this that's simpler and easier to deal with, or it may work for you better. I'd love to hear about that. So, happy camping, happy van camping and van living, and happy tiny house living to you, from me, Papa, out.